Hi everyone. Today I'm doing a little bit of last minute Christmas baking. I am making some gingerbread cookies with no whey powder, no keto chow, high protein, and I am making my Cranberry Loaf version 2.0. I'm Anita from KetogenicWoman.com, where I share keto and carnivore recipes and other cooking ideas. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you'll check out some of my other videos and hit that subscribe button. And this is Teddi if you're new here. For those of you returning, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Welcome back. Teddi, come here. Here. You can say hi to everybody. Say hi to all the newcomers. Say Merry Christmas. And maybe we're gonna go find you a toy to play with, okay? All right? Okay, everybody, I didn't think I was going to do another video before Christmas, but I had so many people messaging me about the gingerbread cookies. That's just the oven. It's ready. I'm not ready, but it's ready.
Okay, it's ready.
So I had a lot of people messaging me about the gingerbread cookies that I made about a week ago. I made them two ways, with keto chow, and I made them with some regular whey protein powder. And so I had a couple messages on my blog, on Facebook, and even comments down below. Can you make it without those two things? I'm sensitive to whey or whatever. So a couple of people suggested Wendy's Power Flour, and I had been thinking about making some cookies with that anyways, because she did some fabulous cookies. Indigo Neely did some fabulous cookies with that flour. So basically the Power Flour is the egg white bread, and I literally just went down to my freezer and grabbed a bag of egg white bread, failed pieces, heels, leftover bits and pieces. I filled up one tray and I just let it bake on low in my oven, and then I put it in the blender, and I got literally like that much flour. I know it looks like brown sugar or something, but this is the flour. And so far I've made 2 batches of cookies with it, and I'll probably use all this up or most of it with the 3rd batch of cookies today. And that came from a tray. So I can't tell you how much bread that was, because I don't know. It was just a big bag of leftover bread. So don't throw out, I've been saying it, since day one of trying to make the protein sparing bread. If you have a failed bread, don't throw it out. You can do bread pudding. That's what I was doing. I did a lot of, and you can do this. So I just want to give a shout out to Wendy from Loving It on Keto, because this is a genius use for the bread. And you're going to be really happy with these cookies. They turned out really well, and I'm going to bake those now. And the second recipe I am making, and for this recipe I want to give a shout out to Indigo Neely, because she is always experimenting. Every time I go on YouTube, there's a new experiment on her channel, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to get I have to get some of that or some of that. So I was at the store the other day and saw the arrowroot flour there. It was just a little, small amount. I thought, okay, I'll just grab that and try it. And so we'll talk about that later. Let's get going with the cookies. If you look below, if all you're interested in is the cranberry bread, that's fine. Look below. I've got the chapters. You can skip right to it. If you're interested in the cookies, this will be a chapter as well. I'm trying to make it easier for people to find things in the video. So let's get going with the gingerbread cookies. So there are 3 versions of this gingerbread cookie now. And I have a card you can print out on my website. This is a printable recipe card. It has all 3 on it. Version 1 is using a pack of keto chow. You can use pumpkin spice, you can use eggnog. Apparently they have gingerbread now. You can use that one and bump up the gingerbread flavor if you want. Any one, vanilla will probably work, I'm sure. Or you can use just a regular protein powder like Isopure, or I don't even know what all the names are, but a whey protein powder that you can get from your grocery store or Amazon. And now this will be the 3rd variation. And it is going to be using the power flour, as I said. But I just wanted you to know that you could go down below, click the link, print this out, and you'll have all 3 versions there. So, and I need it because my memory's not that good sometimes. So I have in here 2 tablespoons of butter. It's just room temperature soft. And I'm going to add in a 1/4 cup of Swerve. So I have found with my experimenting that this particular cookie is way better with an erythritol-based sweetener instead of an allulose-based sweetener. It just has a better texture. It's kind of crispy around crisp around the edges, but soft inside. If you go with the allulose, you can still make it with the allulose if that's all you have, but the allulose makes the whole cookie softer. So, and that's probably okay too. So we've got our brown sugar sweetener in there, and I am just going to just smoosh it up a little bit, and I'm just going to get my electric beater.
But anyways.
Okay, I've got that well combined. I need 2 eggs. And vanilla extract. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. All right, so here is where you can make a few changes. If you didn't want to make gingerbread cookies, you could use some of your flavoring drops. I know some of you probably have lots of things like this. You can make put some cocoa in, make some chocolate stevia. Just use your imagination. It doesn't have to be gingerbread. But I need some gingerbread cookies for a different recipe I am making. And I'm gonna let that one be a secret for now. And so I'm going with the gingerbread, and I'm putting in a tablespoon of my gingerbread spice mix that I make up myself. And that is also on that same recipe card. So that's 1 tablespoon of the gingerbread seasoning, 1/2 teaspoon of the baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of xanthan gum. I had my sifter out because I was going to sift all this in there, and look at me just dumping it in. Oh well. 1 scoop of collagen. A lot of people ask about the collagen, why to put it in. It does provide some softness. You can use a pack of Knox gelatin, or if you've got some of that beef gelatin or something, it's kind of the same as that. I like the texture with it in. Now, this is the important measurement here. We're not scooping out the flour because there's a reason for that. We've all made the bread different, and so we're gonna have different weight, I guess, of flour. Like some of our flours are going to be different just because of the way we made it. There's no controlling that. Some people are just gonna make the plain bread with egg white powder and water, and other people are gonna have all the other things. This is a real hodgepodge of things. So weigh out your 45 grams. And I based that on the packages of keto chow. They seemed to be about 45, 46 grams. And So I've been using the same amount of protein powder as, and I know the Keto Chow has other things mixed in, but it just seems to work. So I'm gonna get my scale. I'm just going to weigh out 45 grams of flour. Okay, so that's 45 grams, which is about 1.6 ounces.
Ooh, I might even have enough for another batch.
Okay, and that's going to go in here as well. Okay, so it is a pretty thick mixture. It's not as thick as when you make these cookies with the Keto Chow, but it's almost as thick. So I've been making 6 cookies, and I like to put them in here because it just visually helps me see if they're all kind of a uniform size. You could use a cookie scoop, like about a 3 tablespoon cookie scoop if you have one. Now with the erythritol, they don't really spread out too much, so I take a fork and I just kind of flatten them a little bit so that they're more of a cookie shape rather than a blob. And then the other thing that I did the other day, it tasted really good, was I put some chocolate chips on top. And I'm only going to do that with a couple of them because I want to use those cookies for something. I would just put 6 or so. Maybe I'll do one more because I like the white chocolate chips. I was thinking it would be really cool if Lily's had a white chocolate with lemon flavored chocolate chip because I like gingerbread and lemon. That would be cool. Okay, so these are going to go into the oven. The oven is set to 350 for 10 minutes. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to clean this up and get the other things on the counter here to make Cranberry Loaf 2.0. We'll see you back in the next segment. So these are fresh out of the oven, and they feel a little bit soft on the top, and that is fine. Do not keep them in there longer. They should feel just slightly underdone because they're going to set. So I think they look perfect, and I'm going to let them cool off and show you later what they're like. But since they were ready just as I was about to start the bread, I thought I would come over here and show you and tell you that don't overbake them. 10 minutes. Okay, so let's talk about cranberry bread. I wanted to make a better cranberry bread. I made protein-sparing cranberry bread, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago. And I love cranberry bread, and I liked it. But I really, wanted to have a firmer, more sliceable, toastable piece of cranberry bread. Kind of like raisin bread is my thinking. And so yesterday I thought, okay, I'm going to give that a try. I'm going to try with using some different things that I haven't tried yet. This was a failure, but a real success in other ways. Like this is what I wanted. This is like the size that I wanted. It was sliceable, but the texture looks like a sponge. Yeah, it just doesn't feel good to me, and I just wasn't happy with it. So I posted it on Facebook, and a lot of people kind of knew that. It turned out I used whole egg powder, which I saw other people using, but I guess, I don't know, I decided I'm not going to use it today, bottom line, because I obviously don't have the ratios right or the quantities right. Taking another stab at the cranberry bread. So let's get started. I'm going to do it more like one of my old breads with the addition of arrowroot. And I'm hoping that will do it. I have 1 cup of cranberries in here, and I just want them kind of chopped a bit. So I've got my little food chopper here. These were frozen. And they've been out for maybe a couple of hours, so they're kind of partially defrosted. That should be okay, hopefully. I don't want it to be mush. I just want them to be lightly chopped. And if there's a few little whole ones in there, then that's okay too. I think that's probably okay. Oh, and I'm turning my oven down to 325. Glad I remembered that. Okay, so we got the cranberries, and I've got a pan here. I have sprayed the pan. And I'm going to get the other ingredients. I just need to grab my mixer, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I am going to put in some water here, 1.5 cups. And I'm putting in the water first. I picked up that little tip from Indigo Neely where you put the water in and then the dry stuff, and then it doesn't stick to the bottom. So thank you very much. All right, I have my 1.5 cups of water, and I'm going to put in some cream of tartar, 1/2 teaspoon, some salt to 1/2 teaspoon. Feels funny to be dumping it in there. Usually I dump it in a small bowl, which is why I had this small bowl. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of the arrowroot flour. This thing is too small. So I have a 1/2 tablespoon measure here. So I'm gonna put in 4 of those. And I'm going to use my small bowl here. I'm going to order a bag of the arrowroot from Amazon. This little thing that I bought at the store the other day, I've gone through it in about 2 days. But it was good to just be able to experiment with it and see what I thought. And so I was impressed with my first thing that I made, which was just a regular loaf. And then I kind of messed up with the egg powder over there. And
all right, it's a bit messy.
That's okay, no problem. I'm going to put in a 1/4 cup of allulose. Where did my sifter go? I'm gonna need that. And I'm putting in a 1 1/4 cup of the egg white powder, which is kind of what I've been using. When I try to do the equal amounts of egg white powder to water, I just never get a good result from that. And so I always go a little bit less. And that seems to work better texture-wise for me. And, you know, this is so subjective. What is dry to me might be wet to somebody else, and vice versa. So it's really worth playing with this until you get to that texture that you like. I'm also putting in 2 tablespoons. Actually, I'm going to put this one in at the end because I think I've put it in at the beginning before and it was okay, but it does have a tiny amount of fat, 0.3 grams of fat, and that can cause your egg white to not work. I have a feeling that might be more important with the raw egg whites, but I'm just going to put it in at the end just to be on the safe side, because I really want this experiment to work today. There's some real lumps in here, which is why I usually like to sift into a bowl before I do combine it all together. My beef powder, I don't think I put this in yet. 2 tablespoons is what I'm looking for.
Oh, right, I was going to put it in at the end.
I'm also putting in 2 tablespoons. Actually, I'm going to put this one in at the end because I'm going to go with it. You know what? I've always put it in at the beginning before. It just
spooked me.
This failure
Spooked me.
All right. It's okay.
It's going to work.
I'm
confident.
So I'm going to put this here on my mixer. Get my beater. Just mixing it in a little bit so I don't get poof in the face. This should take about 5 minutes. I am going to put it on high, and it'll take about 5 minutes once I put it on high. So I'll see you back when that's done. I don't think it's going to get much higher than that, so. Okay, I ended up having to put this on because it was really splattery. It doesn't fit properly on this big glass bowl. I could tell it was a little softer than normal, but I'm pretty happy with that peak. It's not too bad. But I do now have to add my cranberries. So I'm going to add those in. And I decided that this time I wanted to put a little bit of orange flavor in there. So I'm going to put in some orange extract. This is a half a tablespoon. And I am going to, I've got some opulent orange flavor all drops. These are drops with stevia. I'm gonna put maybe 10 or so, probably 15 drops in there. And then I'm just gonna give it a bit of a stir. Yep, I can taste the orange. Orange zest would be nice, but I don't have an orange in the house. I'm going to put it in the pan. Let's get this in here. So I have a little bit of leftover batter that I'm going to throw into a mini loaf. I probably could have made some buns, but oh well. I got to commit now. This will be very tiny. Actually, you know what? I'm going to even throw a little bit of brown sugar on top of this one. May as well experiment with this piece here. And some cinnamon. This bag was almost finished, just for fun. All right. Let's get this in the oven. I'm gonna put this in for 30, I'm gonna check it at 30 minutes. All right, we will see you back when those come out of the oven. All right, I'm back. I've got bread for whatever it is we don't know yet. But let's look at the cookies first. I'm gonna take them out. They look beautiful. They smell amazing. They're soft on, like I can feel the, you know, inside is soft. I can hardly wait to try one. Whoops, I think I broke that one. I probably should have, they seem to be sticking a little bit to the silicone, so I perhaps should have sprayed it. I mean, it could be that, I mean, it's the egg, I blame everything on the egg white bread, right? It always sticks. But what I want to do is, first of all, give you a nice little close-up of what the cookie looks like. And I'm going to, actually I'll break one of the ones without the chocolate chips just so you can see. Like I said, I'm going to use that in a recipe. I'm going to try a piece of this. All right, look at this. I'm going to give that a try. So good. I don't know. I think that the power flour makes a next level cookie, I have to say. I mean, as far as keto cookies go, because I really don't like doing almond flour and coconut flour, that's why I've been experimenting with protein powder. I mean, this is crazy good. Crazy good. If you've given up on making the protein bread, make it for this. Like, I'm serious. Anyways, these are really good. The printable recipe is below. A link to Wendy from Loving It on Keto. There was one video where she shows how she dries out her bread to make the flour. I'm going to link you to that video as well so that you can, if you're unsure of what I was talking about with the whole drying out the flour. No, this is not for doggies. Cookies are not for doggies. Sorry, guys. So let's move on to the other things we have. So this is that little experiment loaf. I should have checked it at 20 minutes instead of at 30. It's probably going to join this one. This is my failed cranberry loaf. I'm going to make cranberry pumpkin bread pudding out of this failed loaf. I have a recipe. It is really good. It's great for around Christmas time, brunch. I'll link that below in case you want to try it, but let's have a look and see what we got anyways. Love the texture. The texture is wonderful. I hope the texture in here is also in there. Yeah, it's pretty good. I kind of like it with the cinnamon. It's overbaked because I baked it for 30 minutes, but I love the flavor of it, and maybe there'll be a Cranberry Bread 3.0. So let's see if I can get this out. I probably should have used parchment paper, but I didn't. So I'm just going to grab a spatula, see if I can coax this little baby out. Totally going to use parchment paper next time. All right, so there, kind of use parchment paper or a silicone pan instead of what I tried to do here. I've got, the side crust of my loaf, but I'm really interested more in what this thing looks like inside. Oh, look at this. Beautiful. This is what I was looking for. It's got this nice soft texture. It's not wet. I think, aside from the fact that I put it in a pan without spraying it, without parchment paper. I did put a little spray in, but obviously not enough. I am really happy with the texture of this. This is the best so far. Let's see how the taste is. I mean, it's still warm. I probably should have waited a bit, but it's not spongy. And I don't feel like I have to go looking for water now. I think I'm onto something here. Thanks to Indigo Neely with her arrowroot. I mean, I think it's made a huge difference. I did try it with the arrowroot and the whole egg powder, and it just didn't, well, this is what I got, so I don't know. I used this beef bone broth powder, beef protein, and I get this at the supermarket. It's also available on Amazon, but this is a Canadian product. So Canadians can get this, but I'm sure that there must be something like this in the US as well. It says beef bone broth is the only ingredient, yet I guess it's just a different formulation, because this one does have a little bit of fat, whereas the other one, the Now, it is 0 grams of fat on this one. So I'm not really sure what the difference in formulation would be. So anyways, I like what it does in the bread. That's the main thing. Actually, I'll try one with this, maybe on my next experiment. But very happy with how that turned out. So I want to, again say thank you to Wendy. I will put her link below. Indigo Neely. I'll put Maria Emmerich's link below. She's the one that started the whole bread trend. And so, we have her to thank for that. And all these people who are collaborating and helping each other and learning from each other. To me, that is what it's all about. Not being fussy about, just people following each other's leads and taking their ideas. And sorry about Teddy, he's getting excited. I've been talking too long. That's probably his signal for I've been talking too long. But anyways, have a great Christmas. Hope you get a little more last minute baking in like I'm doing, and try those cookies. See you soon. Teddi!
Oh, this is. First it? Yeah. That is xanthan gum. Where's my cream of tartar? Oops, what am I doing here? Got the lid on wrong. I was certain I had everything. Maybe he'll just wander off and go and find something to do. No, maybe he won't. Good thing I didn't. But anyways, are we back rolling again? We haven't stopped.
Trick beater.
I was looking at the wrong camera.